All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. Hello to you all, and welcome back to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Sorry for the time away, but I had to participate in the radio station staff meeting. I emerged from that unscathed. Always a win. Tomorrow is my 1-year anniversary on that radio station. So I've been doing that show, The Insane Asylum, on Q100 at q100michigan.com for 1 year. I'll never forget that day that I signed on. I'll never forget it because I have a scar. You can see it. It's still there to some degree. Well, I mean, I don't think it'll ever go away. Maybe. I don't know. But it's been 1 year since I was burned. I was having throat issues on my sign-on day. So I had been drinking tea. But it was so fucking hot, and I was carrying it. And I made the mistake of carrying it between my arm and my chest because I had my hands full. And I was opening up a door, and for some reason, some of it splashed out. And I'll never forget that pain. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, my God. I didn't think it was that bad, really. And then I get a look at it, and there was a blister there. And I was like, uh-oh. My God. But I made it, and I think in a couple of months, I will not be the shortest tenured morning show over there at Q100. But I'm excited for things to come at the almighty Q100. You should listen to it now and again. Welcome back. The St. Patrick's Day festivities led to a catastrophe in some Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania neighborhood. I don't know if you saw this video. I'll get to it in a second. But a bunch of fucking college kids were partying, and they got onto the roof of this one portion of the house, and it was too many people up there in the fucking thing. There was people underneath it. They're like, yeah, hey, fucking party, yeah. And it collapsed, and it landed on them, and I saw that. Well, they're all dead. Not a single person died, and the worst injury was a broken leg. What? Holy shit! This is something else. Let's get into it here with the local news covering it.
Now on 11 at 11, 16 people hurt when a porch.
Let's right away back up.
Now
I'm going to mute the sound so that we don't have to keep replaying the sound over and over again. But right off the jump, they start with it. So I'm going to frame by frame it. Okay. You can see all these people up there. And then right as the camera pans, it starts to fall. Right there. Now it's starting to fall. Now let's back up a little bit. You can see all these people under there. You got green, white shirt, white hat guy. Remember, white shirt, white hat. Okay? Look at the thing's falling down on him. He has no idea because he's drunk as fuck. And then all these people are like, what the hell? And then this guy points, and then they pan the camera back. Now here's white shirt, white hat guy. And the whole thing's falling on him. Did you see that? Holy fuck. My God. What a scenario. as it just comes crashing down on that dude.
People packed an alley for a St. Patrick's Day weekend party when that porch came down with people on top of it. A new video from Drone 11
How are they
shows
not
the
dead? What?
Aftermath of that collapse. A portion of that house is now condemned. And this picture shared by Pittsburgh Public Safety gives you a sense of just how large that porch was. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on 11 at 11. I'm Lisa Sylvester.
And I'm Gordon Lesh. Channel 11's Rich Pierce is along Semple Street in Oakland, and students say this could have been a lot worse.
Well, yeah, they could have been dead. They always add that. Oh, this could have been worse.
3 of those injuries were considered to be serious, the worst of which was a leg fracture. Now, that porch collapsed right on the backside of this building here, and that portion of the house has been condemned. Dramatic cell phone video shows the moment the roof.
What a bash. God, to be young. I mean, to an old guy like me, that is not fun. Okay, but when you're young, that is fantastic. I remember I was in the late 80s, I went to Western Michigan University to party with my brother. Those were great days. He had yet to commit to being an alcoholic because he's a drunk too. And he realized it before I did. So we're both drunks at the time. Traveled to Western, and we ended up being involved in the Knollwood apartment riots, which is actually a thing. If you were to look up the Knollwood apartment riots, Knollwood, Knollwood apartment riots, that's where my brother lived. And the shit started to hit the fan. And people weren't pissed off for a good reason. It was just like what you just saw. And people were just milling around, and then we started to destroy shit for no good reason. And the next thing you know, a line of riot police is coming down the street, and they're clearing the street. And if you're in the way, you're going to get your fucking head cracked. And fucking A. So we got the fuck out of there. We had enough sense to leave. But that was fun. That was outstanding. Anything that wasn't tied down was destroyed. We would go onto people's porches. If they have furniture or ornaments like decorative shit, it's gone. We're going to take that and destroy it. And that's all there is to it. That's what fucking idiot white people do. We just destroy other people's shit. Black people are much smarter. They break in during these massive gathering moments, particularly when they're, perhaps some type of unrest, like Rodney King gets nearly killed. You attack the electronics store, you take, and then you leave. In my opinion, that is a much more productive way to do things. At least there's some merchandise of value that is changing hands. White people, they just destroy things that belong to people, and they don't do anything else with it. They don't break into the homes to, traffic the children or anything like that, which probably would be a good idea, actually. But no, we just destroy. And that's how it is. If I had to go back and do it again, I would loot. I would say of the things that if you want to riot and destroy things, that's all right. That's a thing, obviously. But I think if there's a more constructive way of doing it, it would be looting the facility, lighting it on fire, and then everybody gets all the material that's inside of it, the electronics, the TVs, the stereos. You burn the place down, win-win. Business gets a brand new building. All these people that are inside of there, they get free shit. All right. So that's how it goes. But in this particular case, for the incident in Pittsburgh. They're just partying, and that's what dumb white people do. So, again.
Building here, and that portion of the house has been condemned. Dramatic cell phone video shows the moment the roof full of partiers collapsed.
So, I don't know how the fuck they got up there. Did they go in the house and then climb out of the windows to get on that? This was on top of the overhang. Definitely not something you should pack a lot of people on.
It all just kind of happened in like the blink of an eye, you know, like.
Now, here's all the students after they've sobered up. By the way, look at this guy's like, holy shit, I can't believe what I just saw. They're going to interview some of these local whites.
The roof just like collapsed on us.
Pitt senior Michael Estosian was one of dozens
Armenian.
on that porch roof. He says he's still processing what happened.
In the moment, no, like I felt fine. I didn't really feel like it was like a risk.
This video from Drone 11 shows what that courtyard area looked like after the collapse. Pittsburgh Public Safety estimates 300 to 500
So you know
people.
the guy that owns that house. He probably has the house, and the monthly payment for that house is probably like $5,000 rent. And then you put about 40 students in there, and then they divide the cost up, and that's how they live. That's what college people do. They all pack into particular places. My daughter's doing that right now. She has like 3 square feet for a bedroom. And, yeah, you get this shitty house, and then if you own the house, like in the case of Madison and whoever owns this house in Pittsburgh, if the home needs any upgrades or safety things, are like if the stairs collapse leading to the basement, you actually don't fix it. You just, the tenants call and say, hey, there's no stairs to the basement. We're sliding down on a rope. And then the landlord says, all right, I got a team going over there right now to fix it. And then the tenant goes, okay, thanks. And then you don't actually send them because you don't want it. You want to make money on this. This is called being a slumlord. And this is what I one day aspire to do. So in the case of this particular house, you then roll the dice and hope that no one actually climbs on the roof, because then this could happen. If that happens, then you deny that there was any wrongdoing. You just lie. And that's how it is in most cases. And they're trying to track down the owner of this right now. He'll file an insurance claim and end up making money on the deal.
People were in the area at the time, dozens on the roof, and more on the porch underneath, including Ben Dorsch.
The whole thing fell, and it like kind of conked me in the head, and then I like fell forward.
And Carlton Gabor.
It came down from the back, so like it didn't really like fall on me. I wouldn't necessarily say it was chaos, more of a like a whoa, like oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
According to Pittsburgh Public Safety
All right,
officials,
now you see all these babes. They are now dressed in
Pittsburgh
neck
This is happening.
according to
neck things. Like this hot chick, she's got a neck thing. Look at her, she's happy. She's enjoying things right now.
Pittsburgh
This chick, she's got a neck thing. She's thinking about getting a drink maybe and going to the club after this. These two are fine. Yes, they have neck braces on, but honestly, it's just for
safety
show.
officials, 16 people were transported to area
Look at
hospitals.
these two. They're hugging. They're crying after this tragedy. All right. She's got her fingernails painted green from the St. Patty's Day festivities. These hippies in the background, they don't know what the fuck's going on. These two are hugging it out because of this trauma that has happened. Now, no doubt at Pitt, they have a trauma team on the ground to help these students cope. They have probably canceled classes for the rest of the year, the whole university, and there's going to be a candlelight vigil to support these children who have neck braces on, and no one died, and one guy broke his leg. So the candlelight vigil will honor the memory of those who are being remembered, and then they will drink. The candlelight vigil will happen, and then more counselors will be there. The moms and dads will come pick them up. They'll go out to eat, and then they're going to call it a year. All of the children at the school, all of the young people, they are all going to get 4.0 grade points because of this tragedy. They cannot be expected, young people today, after this catastrophe, university-wide, they cannot be expected to actually go back to school for the year. So rather than pausing it or just, Monday go back to school, rather than that happening, we don't want that. That's too much to ask of them. They're all going to get 4.0s, and then the state of Pennsylvania is going to refund them all of the tuition for their entire college career and their room and board. And for the rest of the year, that's the way it's going to be. Next year, they get free education after this slaughter that occurred at the school.
Hospitals, we saw several being taken from the
scene. Here's another young one. She's being taken to the hospital, too.
More incredible.
And the area hospitals, we saw
she's happy.
Several.
She's very, very happy. She's just been informed that everything's fine and that she got a 4.0.
Taken from the scene.
We're incredibly fortunate that there were no fatalities. These are aging infrastructure across most
This is
of
Emily
Pittsburgh.
Bourne from Pittsburgh Public Safety.
Recommend not being on a roof.
And tonight, at least one student is regretting his decision.
I wish I did not go on the roof.
Now again,
there you go. That's a poignant statement. I mean, think about that. He's getting up the energy to say, I wish I did not go on the roof. And that's asking a lot of a young person to actually accept the blame. Typically a young person will, like most of the other people on top of that roof, they will announce that it's their mother and father's fault. They did this, and they need to be heard. And they will not accept anything but that. So they're going to be expecting for their parents to take care of them for years after this tragedy.
Porch area in the back was condemned, but the building itself is fine. Tonight we've learned no citations have been issued. Reporting in Oakland, Rich Pierce, Channel 11 News.
No. The only ones who are at fault are the parents of those young children. And they should be totally made accountable for this. Piano Finger Banger says, LOL, what an interview. Yeah, that guy when he said, I think I should not have been on there. That's saying a lot. David says this is a perfect example of stupid young people. Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, that's been the case forever. I actually support the party. That's what young people do. It's now going forward, the next things that will happen. I mean, sure, you all you fell off of a roof. Now what? I mean, if it were us, we would just drink more. There wouldn't have been any police or fire called. We would have just pulled people out. And if you needed to go to the doctor, we'd take you to the hospital. No big fucking deal. And then we would take what's left of the roof and we'd burn it. I remember when I've told this story before, but I was, when Pooh Bear and I rented that house on Isabella Road, which is still there to this date, in Mount Pleasant. We were having a party. It was the one that my dad was at. So I'm guessing this is 1990. So that's what? 35 years ago. That would make my dad 81, 71, 61, 60, 59, 58, 57, 56. About my age now. Maybe a year older. And I've got all my friends over, and everybody's getting bombed. And it was a lot like that, except we weren't on the roof. And this was the moment where there's a lot of things happening at this party because I made my dad go get me a couple packs of smokes. And he's drunk. And I get the cigarette and I'm having a conversation and I'm across the fire. And I get down to the end of it and I flick the fucking cigarette into the fire, but it goes over the fire and hits this chick in the fucking face. It hit her and I went, oh. And she's trying to figure out who did it, you know, and she's got like a little ash burn right here, you know, on her face. Because it only hit her for a second. It was no big deal. But, oh, my God, that was the beginning of the end. And then there was a screen door coming out of the patio. And some fucker ran through it. So that's problem number 2. Then we ran out of wood. So we went to the business next door, which is the business of the guy who owns my house that I'm in. His name was Joe Alloway. I think he's dead now. But he had just redone the windows on the business. It was a print shop. It was a printing business. And he had the old ones with the frames, wood frames stacked neatly. And I don't know what he was going to do with those. And I'm like, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I need wood. So we busted out all the glass and then grabbed the frames and threw them on the fire. And this is in the backyard of his residence that did not have a fire pit. So to start the day, I dug a hole in the middle of the yard. Pooh Bear goes to bed. We're out of wood. We've burned all the wood, the fucking window frames. We're bombed. I mean, there's still people there hanging around. People I don't know. Just like wandering around in this big backyard that we had. And so Pooh Bear had a clothesline in between these two trees. And, well, in the morning she woke up. She said, where's my clothesline? I go, yeah, we needed the wood to burn for the party. And she's like, oh, shit. So I just got a hacksaw and cut those trees down. They were small. And burn those trees. Okay, so, again, not my house. So we're destroying the home. Then the icing on the cake was one tree remained. Now, if you can picture a hacksaw, the frame of the saw is going to prevent you. You're only going to be able to cut so far. So if the tree is yay big and the saw can only go. So my dad and I are figuring this out at 1 a.m. I cut all the way around, and there's still plenty of tree that has not been cut. But I have gone all the way around. So, and this is about a 40, 50-foot tree. And Dad says, I have the answer. It's because he figures that since I've already been cutting it, all it needs is a good solid shove. His idea is to take his truck and ram the tree. He had this old Chevy truck. The one that he had that he sold me, the 03, it was the truck prior to that. And, wow, yeah, he put it in drive. It just, bam! Sorry, Darla. And, that tree didn't fucking move. And I'll never forget, that front bumper was just in, you know? And the front end, the grill, everything's in, going into like the radiator. And so the parts of the car that are damaged are going actually in. They've pierced the radiator. So it's all this fucking shit is coming out of here. And then all that antifreeze and coolant's hitting the block and it's steam rolling off the fucking thing. And I go, get it again. He goes, hold up, guy, hold up. Oh, no, guy. So his truck's all fucked up. Oh, my God. We had to have it towed back to Detroit so he could get it fixed. I think he made up some story with the insurance company in order to get that thing repaired. But The tree never did come down. But then I'm left with, the aftermath. And the next day, Pooh Bear wakes up and she's like, Jesus Christ. And she had to have had an idea that, boy, this is rough. We are leading a rough life together here. We're starting out on the wrong foot. We weren't even married then, I don't think. Maybe we were. I don't recall. It might have been 91, might have been 92. Who knows? We're so young. Holy shit, that was a bash. And now I'll never forget, there was another guy there who his name was Gary. And Gary, he ended up running away from the party crying. And we all were looking for him in a cornfield to beat the shit out of him because he ran away crying. And the reason why he got so upset was he's got these, you ever know anybody that has like veins that stick out on the side of their head? And he had those, and they were prominent. And it wasn't long until he figured out that we were calling him Veinhead. So he didn't like that. Gary was a pretty good guy, but we found out pretty quickly that he is very sensitive to the veins. So when he found out that we were referring to him as Veinhead, well, this is when we first met Gary. And Maureen says, does Gary work at the Men's Warehouse now? I don't think it's the same Gary. But at that party, Gary ends up fleeing the scene crying, and we were fed up with him being a bitch. So because my place butted up right to a cornfield. And we're like wandering through the corn with flashlights trying to find him because we want to beat the shit out of him because there was a chick that he was talking to, and they were like having a nice conversation, and it seemed like it was going well. This is according to the chick. She was interested in him. However, she made a mistake of asking about the veins. And so it's immediately starting to not be such a good time for Gary. And the line that did it, because she told us, she goes, all I did was asked him if they came out when he's thinking. I don't know. I don't know why she thought of that. I don't even know. But she wasn't picking up the vibe that he's not down with the conversation. So she says, well, yeah, do they come out when you think? The veins? Which, whatever. She doesn't know that he's a goddamn bitch about his fucking veins. He could have played that off and made up a story that, it's because my dick's so big and I'm going to put it in you later. Or he could have said anything. But the one thing you cannot do when hot chick asks you that question is go, and he runs away. He left the party and he runs into the corn. And I don't really know what happened after that. He kind of left the friend circle. I mean, he was so rattled by that. And what a feeble fuck, Jesus Christ, dude. But I'll never forget looking for him. And we're like, hey, where's Gary? I don't know. We got to find him. This is ridiculous. And then we're getting more and more pissed. So we were going to beat him if we actually found him. That was the plan. Cole says that he could have said, yeah, I'm thinking about getting in your pants. That's why they're sticking out. Oh, he could have totally have made lemonade out of that if he wasn't such a bitch. And my dear friend, John Hurt, I think he still talks to the guy. So I wonder if I got to look him up to see if he still has the veins. But no, that's the thing. He probably spent his high school years getting brutalized over the veins. And then, he starts his college career and he's thinking he's got a clean slate and whammo, they're talking about his fucking veins again. People got to learn to deal with shit more appropriately than running away in the corn. All right. ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to the amazing sponsors that make this show go around, including Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. You can find them at ervines.com, 616-532-6600. If you go there and you want them to work on your car, you can get a free loaner car. You hear that, Darla? You can get a free loaner car. You feel good about that? Located right in the middle of Grand Rapids, Michigan. You can't miss them. ervines.com. That's ervines.com. Tag Accounting. They want to do your taxes for you. 616-301-9516. From wherever you are in the U.S. 91440. Okay, hang on. Something else. I was distracted. They want to do your taxes for you. Just mention me when you call 616-301-9516. Thank you to Adam Kasari. He is the realtor of choice on the Eric Zane Show podcast. If you're thinking about buying or selling, or if you're thinking about selling your home, definitely call Adam. If you're thinking about buying a home, call Adam. 616-914-4061. Adam Kasari, that's Casari, Realty, on Facebook. Adam's a great dude. We recently started working together. That is the realtor that I want you to call. Call upon TC Paintball when you want to book an event. Online at tcpaintballgr.com. Fantastic place for entertainment. Get a group together. It might be your workplace pals. Could be the neighborhood dudes. Could be pals of yours who are going to gather on a roof to drink beer until it collapses. It could be your kids with the neighborhood kids. There's a youth league on Wednesday. All this information is available at tcpaintballgr.com, a fully stocked pro shop that can host your group event. tcpaintballgr.com. Okay. The name Major General Charles C. Rogers. Major General Charles C. Rogers, I don't think is with us anymore. He was awarded, I believe this might be the highest distinction you can get, the Medal of Honor, way back. Now, Major General Charles Rogers, Charles C. Rogers, not to be confused with the former football player for the Lions. He was in battle during his tours in Vietnam. And this guy was a legend during the Vietnam War. All right, he would go out into the field, combat veteran, and this happened 3 times. Like the first time he was shot up. They get him back. They operate. They nurse him back to health. They put him back in the field. Fighting again, he gets shot again. Same deal. Bring him back to health, back out in the fighting field. You know, that's what you did back then. Huey helicopters, napalm, all those tunnels that the Viet Cong would rumble through. You'd be sitting there doing an army crawl, and some guy's face pops up right in front of you. You stab him with your fucking bayonet. You throw a grenade in the hole. Holy shit. Malaria. You're getting high all the goddamn time. Jesus. As Creedence Clearwater Revival plays, third time out in the field, he gets shot again. This time, all right, that's enough. This guy is the highest ranking African American to receive the Medal of Honor. He died in 1990. His remains were buried at the Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. And then 9 years later, his family was so excited because a bridge in Fayette County, where this gentleman was born, this war hero, Major General Charles Rogers, was renamed the Charles C. Rogers Bridge. As of just a few days ago, when you looked on a government website, it said Medal of Honor, and it has his name. It has his the things that he's done that I just listed for you. But I'm understanding now that if you were to look that up, if you Googled his name, the entry that had all the information that I was just telling you about, it's not there anymore. The page has been deleted and the URL has been changed. And so when you do that, it then says DEI medal. What's going on? And that is on the U.S. Defense Department webpage. So government website that had all of the shit that I was just telling you about. Here he is in his uniform with after he got his medal. Our own Defense Department webpage that was celebrating him has now been removed and the letters DEI added to the site's address. So there, you'll see a 404 error message according to this, and then the URL is changed with the word medal being changed to DEI medal. This is what I'm talking about. This is what happens. Trump gets in. Now, everybody's all pissed off about this, but this is exactly what he said he was going to do. So, my God, it just sounds terrible to me, though, of all the things. You know, I understand the whole business of we want everybody to have equal footing when it comes to gaining employment, you know, and I do get that. But this is just like horrifically racist is what this is. The guy is dead. He earned the medal. He got the medal. And now the Defense Department web address is saying, fuck you to that guy. He only got it because he's black. That's what they're saying. Holy shit. I will say this. Trump has fucking balls, because I guarantee you that Trump is the one who said, look, I want that black guy to not be on there anymore. And I want everybody to see it so that all my January 6 friends will know that I don't like black people. That's why he did this. I wouldn't even be surprised if Trump himself said, give me the goddamn password. I'm going to do it myself. I am the admin. I am the commander-in-chief. I'm going to do this, and that's the end of it. I don't give a fuck if there's a bridge named after this guy. This is what we're doing going forward. That would make the most sense for me. Rebecca says, I hate how comfortable the racists are. Piano finger banger. This is a perfect example. He's very comfortable in saying things. He says, we all know the only reason he got the medal was because he was black. Now, I don't think that that's true. And I'm surprised you would say the quiet part out loud. The only reason why you're saying the quiet part out loud is because your identity is hidden. If you had like your real first and last name on the chat, or if I knew who you were, because I might, but I don't remember. If I knew who you were and I said who you were, you would not be happy with that. No one in their right mind wants that to get out. He says, I'm kidding, easy, God damn it. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know that. It's what I said to Maureen. I don't know what's fact and what's fiction. I have the benefit of using my voice. Text, it doesn't translate that way, you idiot. God damn it. That is so strange to me that this is actually happening. Bob says, but back then, him being black would have been why he wouldn't get the Medal of Honor. See, if you're someone like Bob here who loves Trump, I'm anxious to find out what you actually think. Because the government, because of Trump, is saying, yeah, he just got the medal DEI, which is another way. It's a more acceptable of saying something horrible, more acceptable way of saying something horrible. But we all know that that's what it is. Let's not try to mince words here in any way, shape, or form. There is no excuse for this type of horrible thought process or anything. Just because a black guy got a Medal of Honor, you strip it from the record and then replace it with DEI. My God. The only way you could, if I'm Trump, and I know that people are pissed off about this, you just say we got trolled or we got hacked. That's all you need to do. But nobody's saying that. My God. How ugly. This is such an ugly, ugly country right now. This is the world that we live in. Absolutely unacceptable. Adam says he hates this regime so much because a lot of what has happened he is not happy with. Now, I can't say from where I sit that I hate this regime. Again, I want the president to do a good job. But when I see stuff like this, it's really hard to come back from that. There's going to have to be a lot of great things that happen for me to forget all of what I just talked about. A good start would be a $5,000 check. If today we can get the news that we are all getting a $5,000 check, then I can process the whole taking that guy, taking his Medal of Honor away, and then I can forget about that. Then I will conveniently flush all of this rant. So that is the trade-off. $5,000. I am willing to move on to the next topic. Then we can progress. Piano Fingerbanger says there is absolutely no logical explanation for what they are doing. It's totally ridiculous. We can put an asterisk there and say, unless, of course, there's $5,000 in it for all of us. Then we can possibly start to understand where they're coming from. And you're all in the same boat. I'm just the one who's talking about it. Because if you get the $5,000 and you cash the check, you are, in fact, saying the same thing that I just said. But if you take the money and you give it to me and don't utilize it, then you are free to feel that way. These are the parameters that have been set forth. Make it so. Speaking about this type of topic, God, there is something bizarre that is happening at a school in Idaho. This is like a 6th grade teacher. She's a history teacher. And you know how it is with schools. You want to foster a nice, polite learning environment. But because of the Trump administration, there is a story going on where a teacher, and I swear to God, I thought I had this story, but I seem to have, it doesn't seem to be available. It's about a teacher that was completely committed to making it that the students all felt like comfortable. And in order to do that, she wanted to make sure that they all had the right idea about what's going on in this classroom. So she put up a couple of signs. And you know how there's been this big push to get rid of DEI like we just talked about with that poor guy who served in the military, and now they want him to not be honored. I guess this has now trickled down to this lady's 6th grade class. The chick put up a sign that said, "Everyone is welcome here." Guess where this is going? The school has ordered the teacher to take it down. Sarah Idema at the Lewis and Clark Middle School in Meridian, Idaho, has been given an ultimatum. Take down the sign that says "Everyone is welcome here," or you're out. Oh, my God. Okay. In the course of ridiculousness, what do you think is a worse story? The black war hero given the Medal of Honor being forgotten and stripped from the website, or the teacher who has a sign that says "Everyone is welcome here" being forced to take it down? She says, "I love the area that I teach. It's really a valuable thing for people to know our human history, things that humans have accomplished, our time on this earth, things that they've overcome, patterns that exist." That all sounds, I don't know. Maybe I think today in the schools, where the school or where the administrators are coming from, is that if you start to do that inclusivity thing, you might actually offend white people. And nowadays, I don't know that you can do that. You got in Idaho, there are no black people. So probably, the superintendent is trying to make it so that the big picture isn't affected. They want, the people that hate black people, that is everybody in Idaho, to do just that. So this teacher needs to take that shit down or else she's going to be out. She put the signs up 5 years ago. It was to make sure the students knew they were in an open and welcoming space. And I know 10 times out of 10 prior to Trump winning, that's perfect. 0 times out of 10 is that any good now. She says she is risking her job. Soon after the election, the principal and the vice principal came into the classroom, walked in, they said, "Take those down." It's a detail that the district verified in an email to the Today Show. The teacher, Mrs. Anama, says other teachers were given similar instruction, but she was caught off guard by the directive. Now, all the other teachers are like, "Yes, we will." And they took them down. One teacher had a picture of Martin Luther King saying, "I have a dream," and she had to take it down. And then they ran it through a shredder. They got rid of it, and they put up a poster of Adolf Hitler. Now that classroom is a safe classroom that way. They get into Mrs. Inema's class. She says, "No, I won't take down my signs." They said, "Well, we need to make room. We got a diorama for Mussolini going up over here. And we're going to have a "Fuck Ukraine" sign over here and a "White Power" sign over here. All your shit needs to go. This is because the way it is now. Photos of the two posters show the one is "Everyone is welcome here" with different hands that you saw. The other says that everyone in the classroom is welcome, important, accepted, respected. And this is the one right here. I don't even know why I'm trying to tell it to you. This is the second one. This one has to go too. You'll also notice that every one of these words, like welcome, important, accepted, respected, encouraged, valued, and equal, they're all a different color. That's a big no-no in schools in Idaho. All right? You cannot have anything, because if you do that, it's suggesting that you're part of the gays. And in Idaho, they don't like that. Don't forget, this is right next to the state where that guy was killed. That I forgot his name. Years ago in the 90s, they murdered that guy. And then the film Brokeback Mountain was loosely based on him. So these right-wing asshole school leaders hate this teacher because she loves people. Teacher says, I'm thoroughly confused. I still can't even wrap my head around what they're referring to as to why it's controversial. And that's what they said. They said, look, the principal cited district policy that classrooms must respect the rights of people to express differing opinions and that decorations are to be content neutral. And she's like, well, I mean, what better way to express that everyone's opinions are valued than by these signs? It's all everything. I don't give a shit if we have a person who feels one way or another person has another. That's all well and good. We're giving it all. They're like, no. This is way too, it's over the top. It's ridiculous. Teacher says there are only two opinions on the sign. How can this be controversial? Opinions are everyone is welcome here or not everyone is welcome here, she says. So since the sign that everyone is welcome is being taken away, basically they're saying everyone is not welcome here. God damn it. How hard can this be? It's ridiculous. Feeling the pressure, Mrs. Inama removed the signs but reconsidered then as the decision weighed on her into the following weekend. Here she is. She's a boy, just a young, vibrant, energetic teacher, which, by the way, she's probably going to be ordered not to wear this sweater because it's the colors of Ukraine. You can tell she's a young teacher because she doesn't look haggard. You know, she's as pretty as a picture. Kind of a smoke show, actually. In this pic, you know, all these, she got the nice flowers and these, see all these crates in the pencil box? She had to do like a fundraiser to get all this shit. You know how it is? Whenever teachers go to work, they'll do like a big fundraiser so that, you know, they can have all these things, the flowers, to actually keep the classroom vibrant. This is ridiculous. So here she is smiling. You know, it won't be long until she's got lines on her face, you know, and she's just downtrodden and she's not even teaching. She's just saying, yeah, take notes on this film strip. My God. Mrs. Inama then said, I have to put the signs back up. She said, fuck that shit. I'm not going to be somebody's bitch. I'm going to put these signs back up. So Saturday, her husband and her went back in there. They put him back up. Principal had alarms in the inside of the room. He knew that it was happening. Texted her and said, take him down, bitch, or you're fired. She said, fuck you. And that was that. The principal warned that the refusal was insubordination and it's going to lead to the next bad thing. Now they're discussing the policy about her being dismissed from the job. Now lawyers are also getting involved, which is good for Mrs. Inama. But I don't know if ultimately it's going to work out. Now the students are like, they're getting like bracelets with Mrs. Inama's name on them, you know, trying to like rally the troops. Equality, everyone is welcome, equality. But Trump himself is getting pissed off. So without a doubt, he is going to literally go to the school himself and expel these children. This is what we deal with today. This is what the assholes who support us in this show right here, this is why they voted for that asshole. And you guys, this is incredible. This is what you wanted. You have to be, are you happy with this? Because this is remarkable. You cannot possibly look at this story and be like, I'm okay with this. Because this is only happening, Bob, because you voted for this psychopath. You realize that, don't you? This would not be happening had you not voted for all of these asshole, dick-sucking January 6th motherfuckers. What is wrong with you? How could you possibly, with a clear conscience, look at yourselves in the mirror, you disgusting bastards? My God. Jeremy says we should not be indoctrinating our children with messages of love and acceptance. I'm glad someone is finally thinking about the children. Now that sounds like something I would say. And there's no way in hell you could possibly mean that. All right. I don't know. I think that Mrs. Zanama, being that she is a smoke show, there is some potential here that she could get what she wants, fighting because she is so beautiful. Had she been a typical Idaho resident and looked like fuck, probably a less chance for this to work out positively. But I am, in a lot of ways, I think that that's the one thing here that cannot be disputed. Jeremy says his crack was written in the voice of Eric Zane, not Eric Zaitunian, without a doubt. Without a doubt. My God, what a shit show. I think we have a nominee for Asshole of the Day with that story. Ladies and gentlemen, the sponsors make this show go around. Thank you to the Grand Rapids Gold. We had an outstanding weekend with 2 big wins, 2 sold-out crowds. Oh, my God. Get tickets for the Wednesday game before they sell out. Go to NBAGrandRapids.com for tickets. Wednesday night, Grand Rapids Gold. Your old pal EZ will be there. You can get tickets for as low as, I think, $12 for the upper deck. We took all the covers off. Before, we would have covers on the seats because we weren't selling as many tickets. But what a weekend it was with 2 sellouts at Van Andel Arena. They are drawing so big, unstoppable. This team has turned the corner. It is the #1 sport attraction in all of West Michigan. Go to NBAGrandRapids.com for tickets and join me Wednesday. Get them while you can. If you head to buyinsurancehere.com, that is where Frank Fuss wants you to be, and you can bang on his door for his expertise on getting your healthcare.gov policy figured out. Go to buyinsurancehere.com for more information. Frank will help you every step of the way. When it comes to haircuts, I get mine cut at King's Room Barbershop. I was there on Friday at 821 36th Street in Wyoming, Michigan. Go there and don't be like Chris D. and forget to mention me. You can also go to their Northland Drive location and their Caledonia location. King's Room Barbershop, online at kingsroom.net. Go there for hours, exact locations, and what else? Schedules. When it comes to getting your trees taken care of in West Michigan, Kuiper Tree Care, they are the pros. They have 3 certified arborists who can help you every step of the way, whether it's just simple tree removal or perhaps storm cleanup or tree risk assessment. Kuiper Tree Care will do it all. 616-828-8225. That is 616-828-8225. $82.25 for Kuiper Tree Care. Friday's Asshole of the Day, brought to you by TC Paintball. It says here, Kim Sullivan. If you held a gun to my head and said, EZ, who is that? I would not be able to tell you. I do not remember, nor do I remember why at all. Today's Asshole of the Day, especially after the story about Mrs. Anama, it has to be Trump. Because if it wasn't for Trump, we wouldn't have all this shit that I just talked about on this show. What a crock of shit. Those are the asshole. Trump is the asshole of the day because of those two stories. Luke says, what do you think of those Biden pardons possibly being voided because he didn't sign it personally? I support that because Biden's a fucking idiot. I support all Trump pardons being voided. Absolutely. More on that later, possibly. Thank you, Luke, for bringing that up and reminding me. I found that to be hysterical. That is going to do it for me here on the Eric Zane Show podcast. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's always a lot of fun. I've got the Patreon bonus podcast coming up a little bit later on. Join me for that. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Till then, have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.